Hi there. Are you looking for a calm space to find in this turbulent world? Are you looking for more love, more peace, and more abundance in your life? Do you want to wake up each day with greater purpose and feel more fulfilled? If you are, then CSLNJ is the place for you. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, North Jersey. Over the past 2 decades, our open and affirming community has created a safe space for all to come and be uplifted. I hope you enjoy watching. And if you like what you see, please visit us at cslnj.org.
I am enough. I have enough. I do enough. And I am loved. That's it. I am enough. I have enough. I do enough. I am enough. I have enough. I do enough. And I am loved. Let's do it again. I am enough. I have enough. I do enough. And I am loved. This part is I am loved. Ready? I am loved. I am loved. I am loved. I am enough. I am enough. I have enough. I do enough. And I am loved. Let's do that a couple more times. I am enough. I have enough.
Floods, heals, and cleanses all that I am. I am the perfect Christ consciousness right here and right now. And I am awake, and I am alive, and I am whole and perfect in every way, every shape, every form that is God as me. And I am unified with each and every person in this beautiful fabric called life itself. Knowing that each and every one of us is also filled with that divine idea of love, of light, of beauty, of power, of peace and joy. So in this moment, I am grateful for all of the gifts that each and every one of us bring to this beautiful Epicurean buffet called life itself, and our community, and our country. Because in truth, there are no borders. There is only love everywhere present on this planet and in each and every one of us. And that is what I celebrate today. Knowing this truth, I am grateful for the Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey and all of its expansion. And each and every one of us, as we pull up our socks and come forward to give as much as we can to create a neighborly idea between each and every one of us that expands our hearts, expands our love. So we let go completely of everything that came before the idea of the Christ consciousness, the halo within each and every one of us. And we celebrate that newness right here, right now, today, this moment, in the stillness. As the snow falls around us, we give thanks for that still, peaceful serenity. And I am enough, and we are enough. And I give thanks. Know that it's so, and so it is.
And so it is. And thank you, Dawn Lee, and thank you, Jesse. Appreciate it. And I apologize for the in and out of the recording, but I think we're settled now. So, got to remember that we're doing it from the right place, the right way. So, and now, as we do every week, we go to our peace practice, knowing that it is so important for us to stay focused on peace, starting within us, but having it go outward from us in order to just spread as much peace as possible wherever we go. We'll all be ambassadors and carry that peace with us. So if you would, please repeat after me. I am the peace I wish to see. I know this peace for my family. My family knows this peace for my community. My community knows this peace for my country. And my community knows this peace for the world. Thank you. We have today today is our day. This is the last day of our 7 Sundays in the series on our values. And it's been fantastic. It's been fantastic to be able to take a look at these values, why we came up with them, why they're so important to us, the good that they do us, and the fact that we came together as a community, as a family, in order to say, yeah, this is what we agree upon. And that's one of the key things about, for spiritual education, that is a key part of it, is being together in that education effort that we do. I saw this today, a post that you are the greatest project you will ever work on. So restart, reset, refocus as many times as you need to. And we need to all the time, because you're different all the time. So there is always that need, and that's really important. And, there was a quote from Leonard Cohen that said, if I knew where songs came from, I would go there more often. And to me, that's what a lot of the spiritual education is about, is the fact that we need to stay in touch with that place that all of that comes from. And the education helps us stay in that place, as we said earlier, in terms of our meditation practice and the stillness that comes during that. And we talked about it in Psalm Sunday this morning too, about intuition and silence being the language of God, and how we get information the more still that we get. But the whole purpose of science of mind is to educate people on how to create their individual life in a very powerful way. And to be able to sustain that power through knowing there is a power greater than we are, that we can use. Science of Mind is not here to tell you what to think. Science of Mind is here to tell you how to think. And to really understand that you have that power. You have a power greater than you could have ever imagined. Have you forgotten that sometimes? I have. I know I have. And it's the reason I come here all the time. It's the reason I came here all the time, even though I wasn't the minister supposed to be running the place. I needed that. I needed that reminder to stay in touch and to stay in tune. And that's why I continue to study and grow. I'll tell you, one of my most enjoyable times of the week is when I have to sit down and find a reading that works for the whatever the topic is. And we do have a reading today. I'm going to ask Dawn Lee to do that reading in a second. And then I'll come back to finish and wrap up what I'm saying here. But that time that I get to go through the textbook or Living the Science of Mind, whatever it is, and it's really refreshing. It's really great to just thumb through there and say, okay, if our topic is on prosperity consciousness or if it's on forgiveness, whatever it is, to be able to just go through the book and see what relates to that topic. And I would suggest you try the same thing. Look at what the topic is. It comes out every Thursday with a little explanation what the topic is. And if you just sit with that, it would be fantastic. And today, we have a reading. Dawn Lee, why don't you go ahead and do the reading at this point?
Good morning, everyone. Ernest Holmes, in the Science of Mind textbook on page 423, after all of his lessons, wrote a chapter called Final Conclusion. And this is what he says. He titles it Final Conclusion. In conclusion, what the world needs is spiritual conviction, followed by spiritual experience. He says, I would rather see a student of this science prove its principle than to have him or her repeat all the words of wisdom that have ever been uttered. It is far easier to teach the truth than to practice it. But the practice of truth is personal to each. And in the long run, no one can live our life for us. To each is given what he needs, what she needs. And the gifts of heaven are alike to all. How we shall use these gifts is all that matters. So, to hold one's thoughts steadfastly to the constructive, to that which endures, and to the truth may not be easy in a rapidly changing world. But to the one who makes the attempt, much is guaranteed. Exclamation, exclamation. The essence of spiritual mind healing and all of the true religious philosophy is an inner realization of the presence of perfection within and around and about. It is the hope of heaven, the voice of God proclaiming, I am that which thou art. Thou art that which I am. And so it is.
Thank you, Dawn Lee. And so it is. And I do I want to read a quote from Dr. Stuart Grayson from Spiritual Healing. Because something infinite is knowing through you and working through you, therefore you can always know more. You can always understand more. You can always perceive more. Further, you are rooted in a fathomless creative intelligence. And I'll just say that I want to know what you'd like to know. Okay, what you'd like to read, what you'd like to study. That it's important that we get this ongoing education program in a way that's going to work for all of us together. And I really like to know that. So give me your input, give me your feedback, and I would love to hear it. I realize that I have, for those who are supposed to be following on the order of service, that I've shifted it up a bit, but that's okay. I've been known to run off course before. So right now we're going to have another song from Jesse, and then we'll go right to Reverend Evelyn for her message for today. Thank you.
Well, I like the concept of gratitude, which is appropriate because we just passed Thanksgiving, in which we gave lots of thanks. So I want to learn more about that. But I wrote a song about it. Don't you let yourself fall in again. Your name ain't Alice. Keep your feet flat on the floor. Take a breath and take a break before you chase the rabbit. It's a bad habit, but gratitude is the cure. And I'm thankful for all we've been given. Thankful for the joy that we're living. I'm thankful for all we've been given, oh Lord. So thankful for all of the blessings. Thankful for the well-learned lesson. I'm thankful for all of the blessings, oh Lord. So thankful. Thankful, 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 thankful. Thankful, 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 thankful. Overflowing with the gift of life. Yeah, I'm a vessel richer than the Queen of Hearts. 'Cause I know the quickest way to Wonderland is standing in the present. You don't always have to struggle through the dark. Just be thankful for all that we're given. Thankful for the joy that we're living with. Thankful for all we've been given, oh Lord. So thankful, thankful for all of the blessings. Thankful for the well-learned lessons. I'm thankful for all of the blessings, oh Lord. So thankful. Thankful, 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 thankful. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thankful, thankful. Sing that. Thankful, thankful. Maybe give it a little clap. Thankful or snap. Thankful, thankful, thankful. Keep singing. Thankful, so thankful, thankful, so thankful, 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 yeah. Thankful, 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 thankful. for singing with me.
Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful song and that beautiful energy to lead into the talk this morning. Oh, so I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to invite the presence of spirit to be here with me to quiet the nervousness in my tummy and to just bless each one of us who is here listening live and those who are going to watch the replay. I'm just so grateful to be here, grateful to be a part of the Center for Spiritual Living, North Jersey. And yeah, so it is. So I'm going to start with a couple quotes from our lineage in New Thought and Science of Mind, because the essence of spiritual education comes from that beautiful lineage of teachers that have come before each of us and have brought this message that the power of our minds, the power that the knowing that our creator is within us and is expressing itself as us. So Phineas Parkhurst Quimby, the founder of New Thought, of the whole movement, said this: form the habit of seeing only good in everything and everybody, so you cannot see anything else. Look through the outer experience to the truth within. So, you've already been educated, or as our friend Don Miguel Ruiz calls it in the Four Agreements, domesticated by the world and your experiences. So what spiritual education in New Thought in general and Science of Mind teaching specifically focuses on, as Quimby taught, to look to the truth within. So Emma Curtis Hopkins, called Teacher of Teachers, who was Dr. Holmes' teacher, said, the world will persist in exhibiting before you what you persist in affirming the world is. I'm going to say that again. The world will persist in exhibiting before you what you persist in affirming the world is. That quote really sort of encapsulates the teaching in that it undergirds the power of affirming. So it's like if you look at yourself, look at your life, look at your experience, and you're going to be able to see what you've been affirming. And so spiritual education teaches us that, because there's so many people in this world who don't know that. They go through trouble after trouble, and they just wish that they look outside of themselves, right, for a solution. When that simple little thing, what are you affirming? If they knew what they were affirming, and if they shifted that, then everything sort of unfolds before you. So in Living the Sides of Mind, Dr. Holmes says, we need to know with scientific certainty that there is a consciousness and a power in the universe that responds to us definitely, directly, and dynamically. Each individual must arrive at a place in his own consciousness where this contact is so immediate and so dynamic that if every other living soul denied it, he would still know. And so that is really the beautiful core of spiritual education, is to arrive at a place in each of our own consciousnesses where we know that we know that we know. It's not about belief. It's not about crossing your fingers and squeezing your eyes and say, I believe, I believe. No, you know with all of your heart and mind that this is the truth. And you know it just in very, very confidently. So when I first came to through the doors of the Center for Spiritual Living, North Jersey, in 2013, I came in search of spiritual education. I had been studying A Course in Miracles with Reverend Jennifer Hadley, who's also a Science of Mind practitioner. And she talked about Ernest Holmes all the time. She talked about being a practitioner. I said, that's what I want to do. I want to pray with people. I want to share. I thought I'd be sharing A Course in Miracles, but share this new thought um, idea that God is within me. I had had this amazing epiphany where I learned after having grown up as a Christian and having the concept of God outside of myself as that old dude in the sky with a grimace on his face and actually him, right? Having that concept of God as a male, as a man, as a grumpy man, that's not very empowering, especially not for a young Black girl to see God, the idea of God. It's that classic um, painting, the Sistine Chapel painting that in Italy of God as this white-haired, bearded, and he's pointing his finger at man. That is not a very empowering image of one's creator, right? So that was a massive, like, mind-blowing epiphany for me, was that God was not outside of me. And I learned that studying Course in Miracles, and but I wanted to go deeper, and I wanted to do it in person. So I did a little internet search, and I found CSLNJ when we were located in West Orange on Pleasant Valley Way. And when I came in, um, Jude and Dina were at the door. And so to have my first impression of coming to this Center for Spiritual Living, because I knew that the minister was a white woman, and I was like, I'm open to that. But to walk in and see two beautiful Black women welcoming me in, I was like, oh, this is going to be good. So, but also I just discovered when I was doing the research for this talk, if you do a search, a Google Map search on that address, 662 Pleasant Valley Way, you can still see a picture of that building, even though it's gone. It's been torn down and replaced by a bank. Anyway, that's a side road. Anyway, I was also there in that room when we were meeting on Westville Ave in Caldwell, when we met as a congregation to map out our guiding principles. I was on the board at the time, and I helped, the board put these meetings together. It was a series of meetings where the whole congregation came together. We had snacks, we had the big whiteboard, and we were writing things on the board, crossing them out, just really coming together to discuss and vote on what we believed in, what we knew, what we wanted to focus on as a congregation. And every speaker in this series has talked about each of these things that we all decided upon, each of these guiding principles. And today I'm thrilled to be able to cover the final principle. So today, those, I'll quickly run through them. You know what they are. You see them every Sunday morning on that beautiful sign behind the platform. Love, healing and forgiveness, community, diversity, and inclusion. And listen, I am proud of this community for our work in community, diversity, inclusion, because we did it before it was cool, and we continue to do it after it's not cool anymore in this country. Authenticity and freedom, faith and possibility, prosperity consciousness, and today we're covering, to wrap it up, spiritual education. So I want to talk about spiritual education, the ongoing nature of it, and how it can enhance your spiritual journey and your life. So we know, and as the beautiful Don Lee mentioned in her treatment this morning, that we have all been created perfect, whole, and complete in the image and likeness of our source in original blessing. This morning, I want to remind you that the goal and intention of spiritual education is to open your heart and mind to the wisdom that's already within you. Its goal is not to fill your head with more knowledge and facts. It's to draw out from within what you already have. So some of the purposes of spiritual education include cultivating consciousness, right? We do that through meditation, through treatment, and just cultivating that knowing that you know that the spirit of the one is within you. Expanding awareness, awareness of our power as each one of us is individualized expression of the one. Just that awareness makes you move differently in this world. And finally, fulfill your divine potential. I mean, there are many other purposes, but fulfilling your divine potential. Each one of us has come to this earth with divine potential. And so in participating in spiritual education helps to mold that and shape that and help you to fulfill your divine potential. So Indian mystic Sai Baba said, spiritual education is not distinct and separate discipline. It is part and parcel of all types and levels of education. In fact, it is the very foundation on which a lasting edifice can be built. I say that this lasting edifice is you and your life and the contribution you make to the collective consciousness through, of course, spiritual education. I remember when I was taking one of the foundational classes towards becoming a prayer practitioner. And on the first day of class, I saw Kathy King, she's no longer with us, but she was a beautiful woman and she'd been a practitioner for many years. And excuse me, during the break, I said, Kathy, aren't you like already a practitioner? Why are you taking this? It was either like roots or foundation classes. It was the first or second class in the series of classes that you take towards becoming a practitioner. And I asked her why she was taking basically a 101 level class again. And she told me that it was essential to keep going back to the basics. And I was very impressed by that. And I saw her later in other classes. And I was just like, that for me was a beautiful example of the necessity to keep sharpening the saw and committing to really confirming those basic principles in your mind. So when I became a member of CSLNJ, it was the days where our center had the culture of everyone taking classes, but that was sort of beginning to fade. It was the beginning of how it faded. But it was through taking classes that you got to know the members of your congregation, to get your questions answered, to gain support. And it was just fun. I mean, you come in and out on a Sunday and there's not really always a lot of time, but in classes, you get to really dig in on the principles. So I invested 4 years of my life taking classes to become a licensed Science of Mind practitioner, prayer practitioner. At the end of all of that study and preparation, you take a test and you have to pass the test. And then you go before a panel of ministers to defend your education and demonstrate your readiness to hold the consciousness for your clients. So that's all it is. It's like we, as practitioners, are here to hold the consciousness for you, for our clients, because in a perfect world, no one would need practitioners with the capital P, right? Because everyone would be to that level, right? To have honed, to do the work, the forgiveness work, studying and practicing treatment and studying and working with, how do you listen? Like listening is it's a whole discipline. And I always say that as a practitioner, it's my goal to work myself out of a job. In other words, eventually my clients won't need to come to me because they will feel fully confident in their level of consciousness, right? And it's not that you'll never need a practitioner. I shouldn't say that because, I am a practitioner, but it's good to know and to be 100% confident in your ability to tap into that consciousness and to really manifest, to really create the beautiful outcomes that you are holding the consciousness for in your treatment. So the weeks between completing my practitioner training and taking the test, I helped to produce the ordination ceremony for Reverend Lane and Reverend Joel. So when the ceremony had ended and things were wrapping up, um, both Reverend Elaine and Reverend Joel were standing up at the front of the sanctuary, and people were shaking their hands and congratulating them. I was kind of hanging back and waiting for the crowd to clear so I could congratulate them. But then something strange happened. I was standing off by myself. I was out of earshot of the other people, but I heard a voice as if someone was speaking to me, and it said, "You're going to be ordained too." I took a step back and I looked around, but I didn't see anyone. But I was 100% sure I'd heard those words. And while I definitely hear from spirit, I think that might be one of very few occasions where I've actually heard. Typically, it's a knowing. It's like a clair. Um, I think I don't know what the clair is called, but I very seldom hear an audible word. That day, I heard an audible word, but I was like, well, seminary is expensive. I had no idea how I would swing it, but I knew that spirit that whispered that vision in my ear would eventually make provision for it. So, shortly after getting the message that I would be ordained, I was invited to attend an open house for Reverend Dr. Jan Van Zant's Inner Vision Institute for Ministerial Development. Now, I've been a fan of Reverend Van Zant for years, since the 90s. And I was like, I sort of had this like vision of how cool would it be to be able to attend, her programs. But it was just sort of, it seemed to be like a distant off, impossible thing that I would just sort of hold in my consciousness, thinking, oh, well, that'll never happen. So anyway, I hopped on the Zoom call, which, by the way, had about 3,000 people in attendance. And I heard all about the ministerial program from which you'd graduate as a minister of spiritual consciousness. So it sounded perfect to me. But one of the prerequisites for admission was that you either had to have completed her personal development program called PDP or her spiritual coaching program. Either which of those was a 2-year program. But because I had literally was just finishing a 4-year program to become a prayer practitioner, it wasn't an option for me to go and attend 2 years of PDP and then 3 more years as a ministerial student. I was in my 50s and I'm like, there has to be another way. And then there was also that matter of paying the tuition. It was money I didn't have any idea where it would come from. So I had received the message that confirmed my ministerial calling, but I had to stand by for more instructions on how I would follow this path to fulfill my divine potential. And, listen, I know this all sounds a bit fantastical, but it's absolutely true. And about a week following that open house, I received another email from Intervisions letting me know that they were removing the PDP or coaching program prerequisite for consideration in the ministerial program. I was gobsmacked. All of my excuses were sort of falling away. And the email sounded like it had been written to me personally, although it was written to about 3,000 people. But I knew this was a sign. So the final piece that made it all possible was another email from my uncle. He was managing my grandmother's estate, and he let me know that I should expect to see a check arrive by registered mail in the next few days. It was money that my grandmother left me when she passed away about 18 months previously. And it turned out to be enough to cover my tuition and travel for the program. And I was thrilled. I was thrilled. So I applied right away. And and I was accepted, of course. And the Sunday after I became a licensed prayer practitioner, I headed down to Maryland to begin seminary. So the process was so intricately orchestrated, I almost couldn't believe it myself. But I also have the distinction of being the first person in 20 years, in the 20 years of the program, to be admitted and ordained without having taken PDP or coaching first. So as I moved through the ultimate spiritual education program that is ministerial studies, it became clear to me that everything that had happened in my life was all leading toward me becoming ordained. I will also say that the spiritual education I received from Reverend Michelle in my practitioner training was more than adequate to prepare me for seminary, even though I didn't take those feeder programs, one of or the other of those feeder programs. But spiritual education is not just taking classes. When we had a building in West Orange and in Caldwell, we've had buildings previous, but that's before I was a member. We held many in-person events and programs aside from Sunday celebration, which, if you're paying attention, is also spiritual education. These are just a few of the programs and events that I can remember, but I've only been around for 12 years out of the more than 23 years this center has been around. So we had open houses, holiday parties, live fundraising events. We had a tricky tray. That was really a lot of fun. Concerts. Being a member of the choir is spiritual education, right? Winter solstice celebration, being a board member. I co-facilitate a healing circle for the African American members of our congregation with, I'm going to say Reverend Tony Hamilton, and our weekly Science of Mind everyday meetings. These are all examples of spiritual education that you can get involved in. So planning and participating in these events is on the ground spiritual education because it gives us the opportunity to learn about ourselves and one another as we serve and have fun together. So life is infinite energy coupled with limitless creative imagination. It is the invisible essence and substance of every visible form. Its nature is goodness, truth, wisdom, and beauty, as well as energy and imagination. Our highest satisfaction comes from a sense of conscious union with this invisible life. All human endeavor is an attempt to get back to first principle, to find such an inward wholeness that all sense of fear, doubt, and uncertainty vanishes. That's a quote by Ernest Holmes from The Art of Life. So let me ask you this. What role do you think spiritual education plays in your life? When was the last time you enrolled in a class? I know that we often offer classes at CSLNJ that end up getting canceled due to low enrollment. But if there's a class you wish we'd offer, you can contact Reverend Neil and we can see if there's enough interest in that topic to create a class. I, along with about a dozen of you, started this year off participating in spiritual education. I started with a class on spiritual mastery, and then after about a couple of weeks break, this thing called You by Ernest Holmes with Reverend Michelle. Every class was enjoyable, and the weeks flew by. Reverend Michelle had us rotate to different prayer partners each week, which gave us a chance to get to know one another. I've been a member of this congregation, and I spoke to people and had really good conversations and prayed with people that I've known for a long time, but never really got a chance to really have a good talk with. So I know that there are many people who are still here who participated in that those meetings where we created these 7 principles. And I wonder if you might ask yourself if spiritual education is still important to you. So we live in very interesting times, I'll say, and each of us faces tremendous challenges as we move through this world. I have a feeling that you continue to come back here Sunday after Sunday, year after year, because this teaching is somehow making your life better. We, as a community, chose spiritual education as one of our foundational principles because we understood that it's the one thing that can support us in strengthening and deepening our relationship with our divine source and with one another. So I'm going to close. I'm going to actually read this treatment from Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. I'm going to read this treatment and then I'll close. So I'm going to take a breath. I am the center of the divine mind, a point of God conscious truth, life and action. My affairs are divinely guided and guarded into right action, into correct results. Everything I do, say, or think is stimulated by the truth. There is power in this word that I speak because it is of the truth and it is the truth. There is perfect and continuous right action in my life and my affairs. All being in wrong All belief, all belief in wrong action is dispelled and made negative. Right action alone has power, and right action is power, and power is God, the living Spirit Almighty. This Spirit animates everything that I do, say, or think. Ideas come to me daily, and these ideas are divine ideas. They direct me and sustain me without effort. I am consciously directed. I am compelled to do the right thing at the right time, to say the right word at the right time, to follow the right course at all times. All suggestion of age, poverty, limitation, or unhappiness is uprooted from my mind and cannot gain entrance to my thought. I am happy, well, and filled with perfect life. I live in the spirit of truth and am conscious that the spirit of truth lives in me. My word is the law unto its own manifestation and will bring to me or cause me to be brought to its fulfillment. There is no unbelief, no doubt, no uncertainty. No uncertainty. I know and I know that I know. Let every thought of doubt vanish from my mind, that I may know the truth, and that the truth will make me free. And so it is. Amen.
And I'm thankful for all we've been given. Thankful for the joy that we're living. I'm thankful for all we've been given, oh Lord. So thankful, thankful for all of the blessings. Thankful for the well-learned lesson. I'm thankful for all of the blessings, oh Lord, oh Lord. I'm so thankful. Thankful, 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 thankful.
All right. And I'm thankful. Thank you, Jesse, but very thankful, Reverend Evelyn, for that wonderful talk. Very good, very inspiring, and so important. I mean, of the things we do and the things we celebrate, this is such an important part of who we are and what we do. So I absolutely appreciate everything that you said, and I'm glad that I was there with you to witness your journey through that. So it was an honor to be with you, serving with you. So we have now our just another way that we express gratitude, and that is with our conscious giving. And you've seen what we have done. You've seen us publish All You Do and read All You Do about how all of the giving that happens monetarily, the giving financially, the volunteering, all has helped us be here for this long and to be able to serve and continue to spread the word of this incredible teaching in so many ways. And for that, we are extremely grateful. So I did put in there our conscious giving affirmation. So if you would read that along with me. I bless this gift that I give today. I give this gift from my heart, and I give it mindfully. May my gift go further to heal, prosper, and bless this center and all who enter. I accept all good that comes as a result of this flow, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is. And if you ever have any questions on how you can help in any way, please, my number is always there. Reach out to me, and I am very, very happy to have a conversation with you. And that includes, we are coming up to our annual meeting in January, and we are looking for people who might be interested in serving on our leadership council as well. So there's lots of ways that you can help this community. It is coming up that Tuesday is Giving Tuesday. November's gone, folks. There it goes. Here we are in December tomorrow, and December 2nd is Giving Tuesday. And as part of the giving that we do here, it gets done in different ways. And we have our outreach program, we have our in-reach program. We're using Giving Tuesday this year to bring an awareness to the good that we can still do. And we have also discussed our need to build up the funds that are in our in-reach program, because that helps immediately right now people in our community. And we do have people in our community right now that need as much help as they can possibly get. So any giving that you can do in terms of, and I will put that link in there right now, for our in-reach program is greatly appreciated, because we've been able to help a good number of people with some financial assistance because of the giving that you've done and the good that you have contributed. So that is really, really important. By the way, next Sunday we are on Zoom. If you see something that went out there that said we weren't on Zoom, that was correct until it wasn't. B'nai Kashet, the synagogue, just all of a sudden said, oops, we made a mistake. You can't have that Sunday. So we will be here on Zoom next week with Reverend Joel. Reverend Joel comes to talk to us about our theme in December, which is shedding your skin, or surrendering into newness. And that's what December will be about. So it'll be wonderful to have Reverend Joel back with us. You can, by the way, for each of the talks, they are available. The worksheets, we have one for today as well. The personal inquiry worksheets are there, and there's the link for the personal inquiry worksheets where you can go deeper into what these values mean for you. And all of them are there for you on our website, and they'll stay up there for a while. But so there are 7 of those inquiry worksheets there for you. We do have, Marcy's hiding in the background over there. I see her, kind of peeking over Joe's shoulder. It's like, you know how they say sometimes you got the good angel over here and the devil over here. I'm not sure which one she is on Joe's shoulder, but anyway, Marcy has been wonderful to coordinate our holiday party. And Joe and Marcy have opened their house for us to do that this coming Friday, which is December 5th. Now, everybody's invited, but Tuesday, Marcy, I believe you said, which is she would like to know who's coming and what you're bringing. It's potluck, okay? It doesn't mean we're lucky if you bring pot. It just basically means you're going to bring some food, and I guess you can bring all the pot you want. I don't really care. But whatever food you're going to bring, Marcy would like to know what that is. So please respond. And let's see, did I put, you can, no, I don't have your contact information here, Marcy, but if you send anything you need, if you don't have Marcy's direct information, just send it to CSL, excuse me, North Jersey at Gmail, and we will make sure that she gets your information. So thank you, Joe and Marcy, for doing all that and coordinating all that. And I think that brings us to, unless I've forgotten something else today, not that I've been known to forget things or anything, but thank you all for being here. Look forward to seeing you at the holiday party and next excuse me, and next Sunday. So Giving Tuesday, please give. We want to do as much as we can for as many as we can. Living North Jersey, we believe in empowering individuals to discover their inner strength and their connection to divine life. Through our supportive community, transformative workshops, and uplifting services, we provide a safe space for personal growth and spiritual exploration. Whether you're seeking clarity, healing, or a deeper understanding of life's mysteries, our center offers practical tools and timeless wisdom to help you thrive. Join us in creating a more diverse, compassionate, and kind world. Your world, the way you want to create it.